Hi, and welcome to Saturday. You know what Saturday is. Saturday is strolling with the orchids, so let's begin. This one here is the Foul Peaches. She's a no ID, and as we can see, she has a lovely spike growing. She has this leaf that she is continuing to grow even though she's growing a spike, which generally with the hybrids, as we all know, they generally stop growing leaves once they do the spike, concentrate on the spike, but this girl's kind of doing it all. Her root tips are activated. She's also growing fresh roots out of the pot. And then, like I said, she is also growing that leaf. All that said, this spike is still going to get cut simply because I want her to focus on vegetative growth. I want more leaves. And looking at her leaves, I'm wondering if she has like gigantea or something along those lines in her parentage, just because how long they are. So she was a pretty big girl. These are smaller than the leaves that she came with, actually. Anywho, oh, and as you can see, I had my little surgery. I still have a little bit of the orange iodine. I've wiped it off as best as I can. I'm doing great. I can move it. Can't pick up anything heavier than a cup of coffee, and that is per their directions, not mine. I'm still just using my left hand, so excuse the orangey tinge. You know what this reminds me of, those of you who grew up in the 80s? Remember those spray tans we used to do? That's what that reminds me of. It looks like a really bad spray tan job. Anyway, while I'm up here, we are going to look at my Vanda Pascherette. And I'm also going to give you guys a heads up. I'm not going to be doing a lot of editing on this video, so if it's a little poor quality in that, I do apologize, but it is what it is. But this is the Vanda Pascherette Classic that I got from Orchid Supply Store. And for those of you who watch Amy over at Orchid Whisper, this is the same orchid that she got from Orchid Supply Store. However, hers looks a little bit better. I've had mine since September of 2022, and finally we have something going on. She finally has this lovely leaf starting, and what I did take her out of the hexagon mesh basket, which you can get at Orchid Supply Store. Use TRISH at checkout when you make your order and get 12% off, as always. And remember, multi-use, free shipping. If you hear the cars outside, I do have the windows open, but I put the blind down for the glare. But she is now in, so she's got small bark on top, but she does have the large Vanda bark inside, and then I cut up the moss instead of layering it. I cut up the moss so that it's a little bit more even. And so far, so good. While we're here, let's just look at the two no IDs. I don't see any new action going on in that one. Turn her around. Nothing really going on there. She is starting to activate her root tips, which, look at her root tips. They're just, if I can get it to focus. Hold on. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Look at those root tips. They kind of remind me of Neophanetia root tips, how red and pretty they are. So let me get off the chair and we'll look at the table. So let's start with the Cenotes Wine Delight. Currently, she is now in a watering cycle for me. Over the last 4 weeks, I've been gradually putting a little bit of water in every few days just to get the moss that is in here dampened. And she is in an all moss perlite charcoal mixture underneath these, it's seedling bark I just sprinkled on top. And since then, these bulbs are now really plumping up. She's really pushing out that growth. I decided to wait until right here just because these were starting to shrivel quite a bit. So I said, okay, I'm going to gradually start giving her her water. And then about 2 days ago, she got a really, really good soak of water. I let it run through 3 or 4 times. And that pot is now heavy. And as you can see on the outside, it is a little wet. And I will expect a lot of salt buildup because there is slow release fertilizer in here, as well as I'm going to be fertilizing her rather heavily so she can do what she needs to do and bloom for us again this year. Our Neophanetia here, well, our Neophanetia, it's not even a Neophanetia, it's a Tolumnia. Tolumnia spotty that I got from Orchids by the Lake. a couple of months ago is settling in. She hasn't started any new fans that I can see, and I can't really pick her up because I can't hold the camera with this hand and use my left hand to pick her up. So we'll just have to look at her in the pot, but she's not doing much. The Chateladeae, Phalaenopsis cornucervi variation Chateladeae. I call this one the Ninja because this is the orchid that Nina over at Ninja's Orchid spotlights for the Ninjas, which is the name of the folks in her membership group. And then she got repotted. Sorry, I had to move myself. She got repotted in the same stuff, so I didn't really repot her. I took her out because the base was really sticking out and she wasn't really doing much. She was struggling. So she is down in there, and there is a new root. Do you see it? Let's see if I can do this without. There we go. So she's got a new little root peeking out there, as well as that new leaf. So I'm hoping by doing that, she gets her groove on, because she's been growing really, really slow. I've had her since August of 21. Is it 21? Yes, August of 21. The moss, what I did, instead of layering it like I normally do, I did cut it up into kind of medium size. They're not small, and then mixed it in with the bark, so to get more even moisture throughout the pot. Then we have Jiho's Pink Girl here. Well, maybe. Let's see. Let me fix myself here. There we go. So Miss Pink Girl here, she got moved from down there to up here, and just because I needed to fill this little hole, and I thought, why not her? Then we have my Schilleriana, also from Yoshi at Orchids by the Lake. I got her back in, I believe it was 21. Let's see. Yes, in August of 21. Last time we looked at her, she had 3 leaves. She had a leaf down here. Well, she has since absorbed that leaf, and I cannot manage to get more than 3 leaves on this lady. I'm going to figure this out. But I do believe, if I zoom in, I do believe she's got something going on in there. It's really hard to see it, but I'm hoping that she has another leaf coming, because she's got nice roots. Let's see if I can get her in the right spot here. So, I mean, she's got roots in the pot. She's grown recently a root down in there, and then the root tips are active here. So I'm not sure what's going on with her. I will let her do her thing. Back there is the Phalaenopsis Hungshing Red Apple that is still working on this growth right here. The Renee Marquis is, dun dun dun, she's working on a new growth, and she's got some lovely roots coming out of the previous growth, which is this one right here that got strapped up because she was starting to lean kind of off to the side. Can't have that. Got to kind of control her a little bit. The yellow Paphiopedilum Mel Star, I did finally cut that bloom off. It was starting to fade off, and I was looking at it today, and I'm like, so this growth and the one right here, this one right here, they're kind of in the same space as far as where they're at in their growth pattern. So maybe, just maybe, we might get a bloom off of each one of them. Wouldn't that be amazing? 2 of those big giant suns staring at us. Now, the last time we looked at this table, I forgot to show you guys my Neophonetia back there. That's the Neophonetia falcata. She is in a small bark mixture, and she has currently 6 fans growing. So the really big one that you see right there, that's the one she came with, and she was growing this one, and now there's 4 more new growths in there. She's got active root tips growing all over the place, and again, love those root tips. Hold on, let me zoom back out. My Xingyi Heart is still in bloom. So again, if you need to repot your orchid, do so, because as long as you don't do too much disturbance, I think they'll be okay. I have found that the key to not losing blooms once they're open and you repot, whether it is a Paphiopedilum or a Phalaenopsis, not necessarily with the others, but with those two, I found that as long as you don't change anything else, like move them to a different location, change their like mini climate, they usually just keep right on going. The good part about this is, let's see if I can do this because Loki is up underneath my feet. She is already starting on her next little fan down there. Do you see it? How cool is that? And while we're here, the Fred Clarkia After Dark is coming on with that new growth. So I did give her a little splash drink of water because both of those little pseudobulbs were really, really shriveled. And now they've plumped back up. Not too much, just enough to get them going again. And then my Lycaste little kitty, what is that? Little kitty Uzi #1 crossed with Lycaste little kitty Uzi 2. For the longest, I was very concerned. But, dun dun dun, we have us a new growth. So she's been getting watered well. She's just in some seedling bark to help keep that moisture in there. Then my Macrobay Pops, still working on this fan here. I don't see any new growth or anything else going on at the moment. And then my Sideria japonica here, this leaf never corrected itself, so she's just going to have a wanky leaf, which is fine. Nothing new going on with this one yet, other than just some roots and stuff. My Miltoniopsis Lila Farinho is... well, she is. I'm trying very hard not to lose her because this was sent to me by Nicole Deanna. And anything else I missed on this table? No. So let's just look down here real quick. So down here we have a Young Home Pink Phalaenopsis that is really coming along with that leaf right there. And then look at how much this leaf has grown since a couple of weeks ago when we last looked at this. This is another Young Home No ID pink. They're not both solid pink. They have pink in them and they've named them pink. So this one here is the work orchid that I wanted to make sure that the leaf was going to continue to grow. So I will probably be going ahead and taking her to work probably beginning of next month. I'm going to keep her for one more month just to make sure. And by next month, I mean in July. It's technically the end of May. What is today? Oh my goodness, what is today? Is it the 29th? It's the Friday before Memorial Day here in the United States. Down here, we still have the Phalaenopsis Ihacin Venus, and she is finishing this leaf here. I don't see, oh wait, do I not see? Do we see? Actually, nope, that was just a shadow. I don't see any new leaf growth, but she is finally getting this root that she was been growing down into the media. And then this is my Spring Pleasure. When I took this out, again, there were no roots, little root nubbins. So I did put her down here, kind of more subdued lighting, not so much lighting as up here in the window, just to kind of let her rest and recuperate. But she is slowly bringing that leaf out. So fingers crossed she makes it. This one here is the Phalaenopsis that I purchased back in October. Let me get my finger out the way. Apologies. That, let's see, this was the leaf that she had came with, continued to grow, and although it's a little thinner, it is as long as the previous growth. And then now she's working on this one here. And nothing else down here. So let's just slide on over here to Miss Phalaenopsis Mito King Bear that I've noticed with her. Now, do you see how her leaf is starting to fatten out? So what happens is, I watched it with this one as well. The leaf gets kind of like an eggplant shape where it kind of gets long and then bulbous at the bottom. And you're like, oh, but it's not going to have the big, fat, juicy leaf you like. After she grows the leaf, this has started now to really open up more to get that larger ending on it. So I'm not sure if it's supposed to do that, but that's what this one does. And then this one here is my Schilleriana that I did get from Norman's. and she's settling in. Haven't lost anything. She's still growing roots inside, and the leaves are still doing really well. And I like the patterning on this one as well. It kind of has more of the, like a snake patterning, striped snake. I don't know. Down there is the jewel orchid, the Ladisia. A lot of us have that one. And then our two project orchids here with the MSU and the K-Lite. They're doing all right. Now, my Zygopetalum here, or Zygonesia rather, I'm going to have to move them. Can you see the two new growths? So that one there, which I could leave where it is, but the new growth on here is going to be on the edge of the pot. So I will have to be repotting this soon. Let me know if you want to watch that or not and see what they look like. And the Berrylicious here, her new growth. If I can get it to turn here, there we go. That new growth is coming right along. Leaves are looking healthy. The base is looking healthy. So I think whatever I was doing, because I really think it was a me thing maybe, that I just was not treating her correctly. No ID Oncidium, just working on all the new growth. And then we have a new one. This one is the Miltonia Spectabilis. I got it from Yoshi over at Orchids by the Lake. Let's see. There we are. So this is the Spectabilis. I noticed the two spikes when I first took her out of the box. This one and that one back there. And I'm looking at her this morning and I found another one right there. And then this growth right over here. This one, whoop, leaf, get out of the way. There we go. That one there is starting to mature. And I don't see any reason why this one should not also give us a bloom, other than changing an environment may cause it not to bloom. In its original pot, I just put some little small bark on top just to kind of top it off. And this is the Orange Kiss, I think. Yeah, Orange Kiss. I did finally cut the spike off. It was blooming, but you know, it was blooming and then you had empty spot, blooming, empty spot. I said, you know what, we're going to cut the spike off and let her start over. And I think I know why that spike didn't fill out with blooms. She kept drying out and I don't think I was keeping her hydrated enough to support that spike. So next time, that's not going to happen. Back here is a Zygopetalum from Trader Joe's back in May of 2022. That is not starting any new growth that I can see as of yet, but she does have a potload of roots. And then back here is, oh, what is the name of this one? This is the one with the beautiful yellow flowers. Oh my goodness, what is it called? Mayan, I think is what it is. Let's see. That one's a little too heavy for me to pick up and turn around. But that one there is working on its new growth there as well. And then I did move my air plants over here just because that wall looked kind of naked. I was so used to seeing that spike there. Let me get back in the chair and let's look at the ones up here. So this is Velvet, and as you can see, she has a beautiful leaf coming and she's working on her roots. Choo, 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 choo. This one here has the wildest root system. Look at it. I was thinking the other day, I don't know what, I probably bit off more than I could chew with these, because when it comes time to repot these, this is not going to be fun. I'm literally going to have to cut this wire basket up. But for now, it looks cool. And then over here, we have Yin Yang, who we recently cut her spike, and already we have a new leaf coming. And as you can see, active root tips starting to emerge. And then she's also got all of these roots back in here. And I did purchase another Barina light. Hi, can you see me through the reflection? I did buy another hanging Barina light for this corner just because these ladies here needed a little more light than what they were getting from when I had that light just hanging over here by the window. And that is all we're going to talk about today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get this loaded and posted. And next week, we will talk about that corner because there is lots of things going on over in that corner. But before we go, let me show you guys something. Look at Tai-Shing Fly Eagle. Look at that. We've got two beautiful blooms, another one coming on, and that second spike is already starting to swell two blooms, as well as the Ambonensis is working really on that spike, as well as the one in the back. So pretty proud of that. And one more thing. Look at her. She's got that bulb, that bud that's going to be pushing open soon. And then we also have a summer rose to look forward to. So everybody have a beautiful day. Hope you enjoy your weekend. For those of you in the United States who are doing anything for Memorial Day, remember what this holiday is about. Enjoy yourselves and have a nice one.